man who was beat couldn't stand on his feet, and he had a broken rib. But he told the crowd he still felt proud to have fought with Thomas Cribb.
Bravo! Bravo!
Didn't hear you, Noxer.
No, just walked in, old stick, heard the voice and thought, that's a Peter Shamian.
A what, sir?
That's a style, old boy. No, in a million. Now, just give me a moment. I'll remember what we used to call you. Is this something to do with feet? Flat feet. Yes. Yes. It's on the tip of my tongue. Penguin. Penguin.
Oh, I think there must be some mistake, sir.
Oh, no mistake, old boy. You remember me, surely.
What connection, sir?
Come now. Captain of school. Victor Ladorum.
Sorry, the name means nothing to me.
Very droll, very droll, very droll. No, for God's sake, man, I'm Russell Haygarth. We're in the same house together.
As lodgers, you mean, sir?
I don't altogether care for this, Jowett. Chap's entitled to a few civil words from a contemporary.
Jowett? You think I'm Chief Inspector Jowett?
Penguin! Penguin! Oh. Yes. Have I made an ass of myself?
Not at all, sir. Polar regions through there.
Huh? Of course. Frightfully sorry, old boy, frightfully sorry. Most of it.
What was your old school, Thackeray?
Eh? Oh, I was at Bermondsey Church of England. I left when I was 9.
An old Bermondsian. What did they call you at school?
Oh, the teachers of the kids.
The contemporaries, the kids.
Oh, I was known as Ted.
Nothing more exotic than Ted. Our chief inspector went to a very superior school. He was known as Penguin.
Haygarth, I'd rather you didn't call me that, if you don't mind. Just as you wish, old chap. It's a deuced long time ago.
40 years, near enough. But a damn fine school.
One of the best. 6 of the best if you misbehave. But I'm not entirely sure that going back there is a good idea. Thank you. Why not? School's still there. Oh, Flogger Page has passed on, of course.
Flogger Page!
Bashing the cherubim by now, I shouldn't wonder. Here's the Flogger. But the present headmaster, you know, very agreeable young fellow. He wants us to go. For a whole weekend, what about accommodation? Use the school itself. Boys have gone down for the vac, of course. I'd be topping. Sleeping in the old dorm. Cocoa. Kidney and bacon for breakfast. Haygarth, if the boys have gone down, who will cook brekker? What are you going to do for fags? What will we do, old boy? Oh, come on now, old chum. I'm not at all sure that I can come. It's good of you to look me up. But for my sins, I have the most demanding job in Scotland Yard. There is no one capable of stepping into these shoes, even for a weekend. Besides, I'm not entirely sure that I like reunions. All those faces one can't put a name to. My dear Jowett, I know exactly what you mean. No, but you don't understand. Oh, this isn't going to be a full reunion. No. Strictly by invitation. Just a few fellas. Joe and I would enjoy meeting again. No, chaps like yourself, who've risen to the pinnacles of their profession, if you follow me. It's to be by selection, is it? Oh, emphatically.
Cove that's in with Jerry. What's his name?
Haygarth, he said. Why, do you know him?
Oh, his face looked familiar. Haygarth? No, don't ring a bell.
Well, it shouldn't. Not in Scotland Yard, anyway. He's a Peter Shamian.
Oh, blimey. What's that?
Said he went to school with Jowett. Somewhere I've never heard of. Petersham. Look it up.
When I was a lad, I served a term as
Fine seat of learning, second to none among the more selective public schools.
I cleaned
Couldn't
the
let you
windows
miss
and
your
I
reunion,
swept the
sir.
floor, and I polished up the handle of the big front door.
Anyone about? I say. Anyone about? Which dorm, I wonder?
don't seem to have any legs.
Get off! Get off! Hooligans!
It's wonderful to see you, You all right into our little ambush, just like the old days.
You blackguards! Who the devil are you?
Now then, Penguin, you're supposed to be a bobby. Let's see if you can name your assailants.
This is outrageous.
Start with me. I'll make it easy.
A horse! A horse! My kingdom for a horse!
Get it?
That this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. But soft. What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east. And Juliet is the sun.
That's quite all right. I'm sorry I disturbed you, gentlemen.
Oh, he thinks we're loony.
Look here. I'm Penn.
Pen? Inky Pen? Good Lord.
Montague Penn of the Lyceum.
Really? You actually became an actor?
Oh, actor-manager, in fact. We've all been promised tickets. Now, let us see if you can get me. Watch this. Oh, I say, Killer.
Killer Partridge.
Dr. Partridge now.
Really? You, the school bully, became a doctor?
Consultant, if you don't mind.
Incredible. I'll keep away from your consulting room.
That is no way to speak of a fellow Peter Shamian, Jowett.
You deserve it, Killer. You're still up to your vicious tricks.
I've learnt a few new ones, Archer. This, gentleman, is the station master of an important London terminus. He also gives realistic impressions of terrains.
I find this all rather juvenile. Has anyone else arrived?
Well, Haygarth's here somewhere. Decent of him to organise this, don't you think?
Well, he always put the school first.
Unquestionably the outstanding man of our generation. 100 against the masters. Victor Ladorum, scholarship to Balliol.
You know, I don't mind admitting that I envied him when he was picked to give the Latin oration on Founder's Day. He was faultless, blast him. Irving himself could not have bettered it.
Irving. I don't remember him. Was he in our year?
You know, the place looks smaller to me somehow, but the smell's the same.
That is the smell of fear.
Oh, come. Yeah.
I mean it. We all spent our time here in a state of unmitigated terror. Now, even you.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Terror of what?
The flogging block.
The ushers, the monitors.
Roastings, dunkings, matron.
That woman, yes. Oh, I still have nightmares.
Ah, gentlemen, let us not forget that there were compensations. After all, we all got a capital start in life. And look at us now. Famous actor-manager, Harley Street consultant, station master of a famous London terminus, and chief inspector of Scotland Yard.
And that doesn't even include Hagarth.
Yes, Petersham was a first-class school.
Still is, I hope.
Not quite as good as it was, I imagine. It doesn't need Scotland Yard training to detect signs of a certain relaxation of discipline. Quite frankly, this dormitory is a pigsty.
I am inclined to agree.
Oh, dear.
Haven't you met Matron? Matron, this is Mr. Jowett. I need hardly tell you that he doesn't speak for the rest of us.
Well, I came to inform you the dinner will be served at 8.
Oh, capital, Matron.
But since you feel so strongly about the state of the dormitory, Mr. Jowett, it would oblige me if you would replace the pillows on the beds. They were freshly laundered for you.
Quite right, Matron.
And as for the rest of you, do something about those feathers.
Sarge. Here, Sarge. That Hagarth bloke. I remember where I saw him. It was when I was in P Division about 10 years back, the Norwood swindles. He was sent down for 6 months. He's a well-known sharp, Sarge.
You sure? What was the lay?
Oh, the Underground Railway dodge. He was telling old ladies he could bribe the Metropolitan Railway Company not to tunnel under their houses. He got £300 from a Mrs. Hassel Smith and 200 from Miss Halliwell next door.
Well, there is no underground in Norwood.
Oh, that was the clever part, Sarge. He was telling them it was all going on down below, under their foundations. He got some of the old souls really worried, lying on the floor with their ears pinned to the ground.
You sure this was this, Haygarth?
It's him, Sarge. Fancy him going to school with Mr. Jowett.
That's difficult to credit. Our chief inspector taken in by a common sharp. I think we'd better take a look at Petersham. First thing in the morning.
And the health of a school can be measured by the success of its pupils in later life. I venture to say that tonight's distinguished company is ample testimony to the quality of education in Petersham. Nay, to the quality of life in Petersham. With the Holy Scriptures as our precepts and regular games for the building of manly attitudes and strong bodies.
Matron's a bit young for the job.
Quite a pretty filly, though, eh?
So is the head.
But I am not on my feet to make a speech. So without more ado, I propose to introduce the man who made this occasion possible. An outstanding example of the enduring spirit of Petersham over the years. Captain of the school, Victor Ladorum.
Here we go. Haygarth's in the limelight again.
When was he ever out of it?
Mr. Russell Haygarth.
Good old Haygarth!
No, please, gentlemen. Headmaster, Matron, oh, Petershamians. I note that amongst this distinguished gathering tonight, there are men of eminence from the spheres of medicine, transportation, stage, and law and order. And I think I can assure you, Headmaster, that your hospitality will be suitably acknowledged. Oh, yes. Now I propose to mark this reunion by instituting a fund, the old Petershamian Fund, to be at the disposal of the school.
Oh, good idea.
And we, gentlemen, we, tonight, shall all contribute to this fund. And be proud to contribute generously as a mark of our gratitude to our school. So, Headmaster, gentlemen, to start it off, here is my cheque for 25 guineas.
I think it was bad form, Haygarth starting a fund without even mentioning it to the rest of us first. I mean, after all, 25 guineas is a lot of tin.
Can't you raise it, Archer, you little squat?
That's not the point.
No, he's right. It's the principle. He ought to have mentioned it to us first.
I agree. Haygarth put us in a very difficult position.
Did someone mention my name?
Hello, Haygarth. Jowett was just saying what an infernal liberty it was offering other people's money to the school.
I said no such thing.
Say, I hope I didn't embarrass any of you.
Oh, of course not.
I mean, if anyone's come without the ready, a cheque would do, or an IOU. There's no hurry, anyway. As long as you all stump up by tomorrow night, eh?
What's the programme for tomorrow?
I thought we might all get a little exercise, eh? What? Some of you look as though you could do with it. Hey? I'm turning in now. Good night, you chaps.
There's something really odd about that, sir.
Isn't he sleeping with us?
Got a room to himself up the corridor.
Organizer's perks. Come in. Ah, matron.
I believe the bedtime cocoa is a tradition.
Yes, and we value our traditions. Thank you, matron.
Any chance of a spoon?
You've got one.
Not the sort of spoon I mean.
I beg your pardon.
Really? I do apologize, madam.
Too much claret, I suspect. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, matron.
Good night, matron.
It's just like old times, isn't it?
Yes, good old traditions.
heaven's sake, Pen, come on, get into bed.
Just a moment. I've got something else in mind. Now then, who said that Flogger Page was dead? Because I propose to birch the blighter within an inch of his life. Aye! It's Flogger Page! We're going to give Haygarth the fright of his life. Once more into the breach.
Sockets of the knife. 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, come here, boy, and get to the flogging block. I'm going to birch you.
Well, I thought this building had been emptied of little boys.
Out of my way.
Apparently, I was mistaken.
Sarge, Mr. Jowett ain't gonna like this. Been told he's been taken in by a confidence trickster.
He'd like it even less if he was duped.
We don't know for sure if Haygarth's trying to pull anything.
Thackeray, it's our model duty to speak to Jowett. Besides, I want to see his old school for myself.
No offence taken on my part, chaps, none at all. Though, Matron would appreciate it if you kept it quiet from me. Not much sense of humour. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Inky, jolly good shape. What? Hey, marvellous disguise. I say, what about dressing up again tonight, eh? Think we'd have a bit of a concert.
No, I'm not.
Oh, good
Very
man,
sure.
good man, good man. Now then, about this morning, I thought we'd all get a bit of fresh air into our lungs, eh? And I thought of a spiffing way to do it, eh? Come on, Hans, hey-ho!
Here, Sarge. Look at this.
Some eccentric, I suppose.
Oh, I'm not so sure. Oh, blimey.
Penguin.
Oh, we shouldn't be here. Let's hide or something.
I wouldn't miss this for the world. Good day, sir.
Hey?
I said good day to you, sir.
Sergeant Cribb, it can't be true.
Was this a paper chase? Energetic sport for a sedentary man?
What the devil are you doing here?
Just 2 hounds on the scent, sir. Not yours. Chasing another hare. Name of Hagarth.
What? Haygarth? You better explain that.
I think your friends are coming, sir.
Oh, blast.
Let me help. Give me the bag.
Charlie was much of a runner. Look, he must have stopped for a drink.
Sensible fellow.
Oh, that's it. We've got it. Have a word with the locals. I say, my men. Is there a chap in running costume inside?
Black shorts, white zephyr.
Carrying a bag.
Went straight past a good 20 minutes ago.
He was going like a steam engine.
Oh, that's it then. We shall never catch him now.
The trail appears to end here. Ah, yes. Well, he ran out of paper, but he went in that direction.
Come on then, Hans.
This is far enough for me. Oh, damnation. I say, would you credit it? No money for a drink.
You're no longer game, Partridge. I was sipping mine. You look as though you need it.
Oh, thanks, sir. You're a brick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
May I?
Finish it up.
I say, if you chaps are giving up, you better say so.
Can I get you gentlemen another glass?
oh, thanks awfully.
Thanks.
Yes, that'll be marvellous.
Haygarth, we're giving up the chase.
To hell with a lot of you.
Hare and hounds at our edge. It was absurd.
Haygarth suggested it.
Not just to show he can still run, if you ask me.
Blasted show-off. I hate the man, and that's the truth.
That's a bit strong, Archer, old fellow.
I'm serious. If you must know, he seduced my wife.
Good Lord.
17 years ago. That's before I became a station master. I had a less exalted position in the booking office at Victoria Station. You meet a lot of people like that. One day, Haygarth appeared at the window. Well, naturally, I made myself known to him. And we arranged to meet for a drink. Well, he seemed good company.
Always was.
So as he was at a loose end, I invited him home for a meal and introduced him to my wife. I didn't see him for several months after that, until one day he walked up to the booking office window and purchased a ticket for Penge.
Penge?
That's where I live.
Oh, dear.
I saw him once or twice a week after that. Always in the morning, just after I'd come on duty. Well, you know the rest.
He was visiting your wife.
On a ticket issued by me. Oh, it was always first class. Well, the ticket, I mean.
Unspeakable.
Oh, Peter Lovesey.
What did you do about it?
Well, nothing. I had no idea what was going on. Constance didn't tell me. Until last week, when Haygarth turned up again and invited me here. His visit seemed to upset her. And after he'd gone, she confessed this shameful secret she'd been keeping from me for 17 years.
But you still decided to come up here.
To speak to Haygarth, man to man.
Oh, yeah.
This is a bit of a facer, Partridge. Puts a blight on the whole weekend. I must say, don't feel much like giving a performance this evening after this.
Please, it's all right. I'd rather you forgot this conversation. Let's change the subject.
You gentlemen entertainers, then?
Oh, pure amateurs. Well, most of us. We're having a reunion up at the school. We'll sing a few songs.
Do the odd comic turn.
And I shall give my Romeo. Thus,
You're not musicians or anything of that sort, are you?
Well, he can play the spoons.
And he does monologues.
Capital!
Sweet
Mr. Hagarth, do you require any assistance this evening?
No, thank you, Headmaster. That is to say, it will be of assistance enough if you honor us with your presence at the concert tonight.
Oh, I shall be there, depend upon it. And if matron's playing is a foretaste, I shall enjoy myself.
Oh, we have treats in store for you, sir. Mr. Penn, being a distinguished member of the acting profession, as you know, sir, is directing proceedings.
An actor, most fortuitous. I really must make a point of speaking to some of the visitors. I am somewhat reserved by nature, Mr. Haygarth. But matron, I am sure, has welcomed you as only she can.
Affirmatively, Headmaster.
I think I should advise you, Headmaster, that I've received information that Mr. Haygarth is not all that he seems.
Oh, very good. Yes, I can see that.
I think we should all be wary of him.
Oh, I don't know. The other one looks more dangerous to me.
I don't seem to be making myself clear. I'm very concerned that Mr. Haygarth may be planning something of an underhand character.
An impersonation of me, perhaps? I do have a sense of humor, sir.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. And now, how abhorred in my imagination it is, my gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now?
feel positive I've seen that fella somewhere before.
At the hostelry this morning.
Ah, yes, of course.
Bend over, boy! Don't you hear me?
Sorry, sir. Wax in my ear.
Bend over! Here's wax on your rear.
If you please, sir. If you please, sir.
Oh, this time!
You're wasting your time.
How's that?
I'm insensitive to pain. You'll not hear me cry out.
You're right, boy. Bend over. I've got wax in my ear.
Thousands of men since 1810 have graced the fighting game, but when all's said and done, remember one, gentlemen. Cribb's the name.
Oh, brother, you know, I feel certain that we met somewhere before. I mean, even a monologue.
Oh, it's very well known, sir.
Oh, it is. Oh. Well, Headmaster, Matron, old Peter Shamians. What a night to remember, eh? Oh, what a night. Well, I feel sure that I speak on behalf of us all in thanking our two visitors for bringing their original talents to our school tonight. And now, fellow Peter Shamians, the time has come to demonstrate our loyalty, our devotion, our pride in this unique institution known as Petersham School. Gentlemen, kindly place your donations in this cricket cap, which I wore more years ago than I care to count in the match against the Masters. For the Petersham Fund, gentlemen, 25 ahead, I think we feel. Guineas. But if anyone is feeling more generously inclined, well, make it more by all means, huh?
How much did you put in the hat, Penguin?
In the first place, my name is not Penguin. And in the second place, whatever I did donate is no business of yours.
Well, there must have been over £100 altogether. Haygarth was going off to count it.
The head should have taken it there and then. I don't trust Haygarth anymore.
You may rest easily, gentlemen. Scotland Yard has an eye on things.
So if Haygarth tries to do a bunk with the money, we grab him.
You got it.
What makes you think he'll try tonight? Might be tomorrow.
He won't want to hang around, he's recognised me.
Oh, I see. Yeah, perhaps he won't try at all. What do we do out here all night if he don't appear?
I could do another monologue.
Capital.
Where the deuce is Archer?
Oh, leave him alone. He's got troubles enough.
Cocoa, gentlemen.
Mate.
And I do want to thank you for a most agreeable evening.
Thank you, Matron. It would not have been possible without your assistance on the pianoforte.
Thank you.
You have a delightful touch.
Thank you. You're very, very kind. Ah, there you are, Mr. Archer.
You nearly missed your cocoa.
Oh, sorry, Matron. Did I delay you?
Not at all. Does it need warming up?
No, but Haygarth does. No, it's fine. Thank you, Matron.
Well, then I hope we can all get a peaceful night's rest. Free from disturbances. Quiet house at last. I don't think there's any danger of our being disturbed tonight. Russell?
Bloody hell.
Come on.
What was that?
The matron.
Matron?
Haygarth's room. Come on.
Hold on!
Good God.
Get this fire on the bed! That's it! Run there, Archer! Further up! Partridge!
What in the name of...
Oh, he's gone.
Don't touch a thing, any of you. Why, Jupiter, that was quick, Cribb. Gentlemen, these are my assistants, Detective Sergeant Cribb and Detective Constable Thackeray.
They're not, you know. They're the fellows we saw at the pub.
I think I can recognize my own men.
Thank you, sir. What happened?
Haygarth hanged himself.
But we heard a woman scream.
Matron, where is she?
She wasn't here. She must have run out. Probably in her room.
See that she's all right with you, sir. And it would assist us if everyone left the room. There's nothing you can do.
Gentlemen, this way, please.
Over to you now, Penguin, old boy.
Well, we didn't allow for that, sir.
It's utterly beyond belief. A man of Haygarth's brilliance to do this.
What happened this evening after Thackeray and I left, sir?
We all retired to bed.
Everyone?
Yes, I think so. No, wait a minute. Archer was somewhat later than the rest of us. Matron brought a tea tray of cocoa to the dormitory, as she did last night.
Oh, that's nice.
Archer came in. Matron left. We put out the light, and almost immediately we heard a scream, came running in here, and found Haygarth hanging from the beam.
On an old school tie. What made you come to this room, sir?
I told you we heard Matron scream.
Well, you didn't run to her room, you came here. What made you think Matron was here, sir?
Ah, I don't think that's a profitable line of inquiry, Sergeant Cribb. Unless, yes, of course, she must have brought him some cocoa. Look.
Sarge, you'd better take a look at this.
What's that, a suicide note?
A very strange one. To whoever may find me, I've decided to put an end to. And there it stops in the middle of a sentence.
Something must have interrupted him.
Well, you'd think he'd have finished it before he hung himself. If he did. I think we'd better ask that doctor to take another look at Mr. Haygarth. What was his name, sir?
Killer.
Aye?
Dr. Partridge.
I can't believe it. For him to have done a thing like this, it makes no sense. Oh, he had so much to live for.
Matron, I would urge you not to distress yourself by seeking to account for this appalling tragedy. The only recourse at moments like this is to commend ourselves to the Almighty. My own concern is for the reputation of the school. If what has happened were to be bandied about, it is altogether too frightful to contemplate.
Certainly we can keep this discreet, Headmaster, with Jowett in charge and Killer...
Dr. Partridge.
to sign the certificate. I'm sure we can keep this confidential.
Yes, for the good name of the school.
I am deeply touched.
Dr. Partridge, it obliges us if you step upstairs again, sir. Your medical advice is wanted.
Oh, very well. I'll have a word in Jowett's ear.
Good idea.
Inspector Jarvis upstairs.
Thank you, Sergeant.
May I have a word, Headmaster?
Thank you, Killer. Bit of luck for us. You happen to be a medical man. There is a suicide note, but...
Yes, well, someone has to sign the death certificate. It might as well be me. No need to involve anyone from outside these walls, eh?
Well, if it can be avoided, of course.
Oh, it's essential. You and I are familiar with death in all its forms, but you must put yourself in the position of a governor of a school or a parent. Incident like this could destroy Petersham. It's our past, Jowett. It is a tie in more senses than one.
You examined the body again, sir?
I have. The man is dead.
From what cause, sir?
Well, asphyxia. You know that as well as I. He hanged himself.
It's not for me to influence you, sir, but I suggest a second look might justify another opinion.
Look at what, Sergeant?
The mark around his neck.
Well, I see only the mark left by the pressure of the necktie.
A perfectly even mark right round the neck. you ever seen a hanged man before, sir?
Yeah, twice, in fact.
Do you notice the marking left by the ligature? Wasn't it deeper at the point where the pressure was greatest?
Ah, now that is a factor I had not considered.
Does it make a lot of difference?
Doctor?
It would appear that Haygarth was strangled.
Then suspended from the beam to make it look like suicide. There's also bruising on the left arm and chest where I suspect he was knelt upon in the act of strangulation.
Partridge? It's murder, old boy. Puts me in a very invidious position, Sergeant Cribb. This is my school. Those are my contemporaries outside. I really cannot bring myself to question them about a murder.
You'd like me to do it, sir?
In the very exceptional circumstances, you do understand why.
I appreciate it would hurt you more than me, sir.
But you will exercise the utmost...
Tact and discretion? Yes, sir. I was never in favor of violence. First, we had to find a motive. Now, what could anyone have against Haygarth? I thought he was the hero of the school, sir.
You told me yourself he was a confidence trickster.
The Norwood Underground swindle, yes. 6 months with hard labor. Did you tell the others about him, sir?
No, they know nothing of this. It would have put a blight on the weekend. A Petersham man with a criminal record.
Oh, perhaps he wasn't your Haygarth at all, sir.
An imposter. No, I regret to tell you he was the Haygarth that I knew at school.
Why should anyone want to kill him? For something he possessed?
That money he collected.
The Petersham Fund.
No, it was upstairs, man. See if it's still in his room. You wouldn't like to change chairs, sir?
No, I'm quite content, thank you.
Fine room. Your wife, sir?
I am unmarried. That is my mother.
My mistake.
She died 8 years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir.
For Florence, it was a release. She'd fallen on hard times. I was endeavoring to support us both on a junior master's pay. Impossible.
Well, you've done well since, sir. Headmaster of a famous public school.
Even I would hesitate to represent Petersham as that, Sergeant. But I am young for the position, yes.
This reunion, sir, was it at Mr. Haygarth's suggestion?
Yes, it was. I welcomed it. The school needs support.
And funds. Haygarth was a convicted swindler, Headmaster.
I must admit that I'm not altogether surprised. When Matron introduced him...
Matron? He was a friend of Matron's.
Friend is a word with somewhat doubtful connotations where a lady and a gentleman are concerned. I introduced Mr. Haygarth to the headmaster, yes, but he was not a friend. I made his acquaintance at a musical soiree in Richmond, and he mentioned his connection with the school.
Well, that's clear, then. Now, would you tell me what happened this evening after the concert?
I took the visitors up some cocoa.
What time was this?
Oh, it must have been after midnight. I thought it proper to allow a suitable interval for them to change into their night attire.
Naturally. Had you taken them cocoa on the previous evening?
Yes. It was a small token of hospitality.
Much appreciated, I'm sure. Were they all in the dormitory this evening?
Yes. No. No, now that you mention it, one of them was missing. The quiet one, Mr. Archer. He came in after me. Sergeant, do you suppose...
Let's not suppose anything, Matron.
£9, 2 and 6pence.
But there should be almost £100.
Well, you were the last one back in the dormitory. What were you doing?
Sitting quietly downstairs. I needed a chance to think.
Think? About what?
Oh, Lord. Well, I told you the others, so you might as well know too. Years ago, Haygarth seduced my wife. But I didn't learn of it from Constance until last week. I was trying to decide what to say to the man. I fully intended to confront him with it this evening. I was going to see him in his room.
And did you?
No. No, I didn't. I realized that...
Realize what, Mr. Archer?
No, it doesn't matter.
I'll be the judge of that, sir. What was it you realized?
Well, that Haygarth was unlikely to be alone after all. You see, last night we all played a stupid jape. It was most embarrassing. None of us expected to discover Matron in Haygarth's room.
Serving him cocoa?
Not cocoa.
I see. I think I see.
Haygarth was a shameless pursuer of women.
Or an attraction to them.
You mean?
Well, if Matron was in his room, she must have gone to him. So 4 of you went to Haygarth's room yesterday night?
It was merely a prank, Sergeant. I'm an actor, and I dressed up as our former headmaster, just as I did tonight.
And how did Haygarth react to this prank?
Sportingly, under the circumstances. We promise not to tell the head, for Matron's sake.
Decent of you.
At Petersham, we close ranks in adversity.
I have noticed that, sir. How much did you put into the contribution that was made after the concert?
I don't see that this has any bearing on the matter under investigation.
How much, sir?
£3.
Rather less than Mr. Haygarth suggested?
I'm not so flush as the rest of them.
I thought you were actor manager at the Lyceum.
The Lyceum... Hackney Wick.
This is a most offensive question.
I have to know how much you contributed, sir, so to see if there's been a theft as well.
A couple of quid. And some silver.
For the old school, and you have consulting rooms in Harley Street.
Oh, you must have misheard, Sergeant. My practice is in Wapping High Street.
Would you help us now? Your scream tonight brought everyone to this room.
So I understand.
Now, just to get my thoughts straight, you came to Mr. Haygarth's bedroom...
I have admitted as much.
To bring him some cocoa.
Yes. I knocked on the door and got no reply.
So you came in?
Not wishing the cocoa to get cold.
Yes. And I saw him hanging there. It was horrible. I shall never forget it. I just screamed.
You noticed nothing else?
No. I was so shocked and frightened, I simply ran from the room. Why? Was there something else I should have seen?
Perhaps. I believe Mr. Haygarth's murderer was still in this room. Probably in the act of fabricating a suicide note. When your knock on the door disturbed him, now he must have hid somewhere. Probably in here. When you ran out, he made his escape before the others got here, leaving the note unfinished.
Who?
The one person who didn't expect you to visit Mr. Haygarth's bedroom.
Bad luck, Headmaster.
I'll take that if I may, sir.
A murderer.
Haygarth was a professional cheat, Ma. He cheated you into believing that he loved you. And he was about to cheat these gentlemen of the contributions they made to the school. And 10 years ago, he cheated this lady of her life savings, Mrs. Florence Hassel-Smith, victim of the Norwood Underground swindle, and mother of John Hassel-Smith, headmaster of this school.
My mother was a saintly woman. That devil destroyed her life. I killed him for that.
You'd already served the sentence of the law, sir.
A few months in prison. What's that compared to the suffering of my mother? When that man reappeared in my life and told me that he was an old boy, I connived at his trickery because it gave me my chance of revenge. My mother was a woman of great gentleness. She lost her friends, her home, everything she loved. Do you know what my mother was reduced to? A washerwoman! Her hands, dear God, I can still see them. hell that she endured was all because of Haygarth. Prison wasn't enough. He never knew what suffering meant.
So you strangled him and arranged it to look like suicide.
Well, that should have worked. The old boys would have rallied round for the sake of the school.
Covered up a man's death?
Out of the question, Headmaster.
Well, professional ethics, in my case.
We don't remain schoolboys forever, you know.
Here, Sarge. What happened to all that money?
The Petersham Fund? Nothing happened.
There was under £10 left in Haygarth's room.
That, Thackeray, was all the Petershamians chipped in, I asked them.
Pinch fists. Here, how much did Jowett put in?
£5
Oh, well, I suppose he knew it was going to be a swindle. You can't blame him. Do you know, for the first time in my life, I actually feel sorry for Mr. Jowett. All them years boasting about going to a good school and it ends up like this. He goes back to visit, and what does he get out of it?
Ah, Sergeant Cribb. Thackeray. Matron has not yet finished making her statement. So if you will hold the fort here, we are going to pop out for a spot of luncheon.
Gentlemen.
You were saying?
What does he get out of it?
Could be a cup of cocoa.